Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the field of microbiology. Let us study the microscopic life. To begin with the introduction, I am Rohini and I have completed my engineering in biotechnology. I am dedicating this particular channel for learning microbiology, biotechnology and other aspects of life science. Let us start with the today's session. The contents that we'll be dealing today will include the introduction to microbiology, the discovery of microorganisms, what are microorganisms and where do they live. Let us start with the introduction to microbiology. The term microbiology can be divided into three terms called micro, bio, and logy. The term micro refers to tiny or small, whereas bio refers to life or living organisms, whereas logy refers to science or the study. So, in short, we can see microbiology can be defined as the study of living organisms that are too small to be visible with the naked eyes. So we all know the one who studies microbiology are called microbiologist. So here is a picture which depicts wherein there is a microbiologist who is observing microorganisms in the microscope and he says, I know a thing or two about tiny objects. So from this we can infer that in spite of the enormous research that is being going on today, we know hardly a thing or two about the microorganisms. A common estimate of how many microbes are known to the science suggests that it is about 1% of all the microbes on the planet. So we just know only 1% of the microbes that are present on the planet. That is how small we really know about microbiological aspects. Let us move on to the next slide. The discovery of microbes. Well, the discovery of microorganisms would have been very difficult because they are not visible to the naked eyes. But somehow Robert Hooke was able to do that. So it was Robert Hooke who was a scientist was the first one to visualize microorganisms using a microscope. So he was the first one to build a compound microscope on his own. A compound microscope is the one which is having a two pair of lenses. So he was able to see the microscopic life using this microscope. So Hooke in the year of 1665 published a book which is called as Micrographia, in which he drew the drawings of the plant cells and the fungi which he was able to see using the microscope. He was the one who coined the term cell. So, Robert Hooke's contribution to the field of microbiology is quite enormous, or it is he who has given the doorway to the field of microbiology. Further, it was another. So, in this slide, you can see the compound microscope that Robert Hooke had built himself, which I told you in the previous slides. So now let us understand what is the contribution of Anton van Leeuwenhoek in the field of microbiology. Originally, Anton van Leeuwenhoek is a Dutch businessman. As we all know, he is commonly called as the father of microbiology. He is so called because he was the first one to observe the cells such as the bacterial cells or the sperm cells, the blood cells, also the free living and parasitic microscopic protists through simple microscope that he had designed. So this is just a brief thing we need to know about Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Now let us understand what are microorganisms. Microorganisms, if you see the word microorganisms, it could be divided into two terms called micro and organisms. The term micro refers to small. Organisms refers to a living creature. So microorganisms are also called as microbes or they are also called as germs. They are nothing but a tiny living organisms that aren't visible to the naked eyes because they're so small that they are not visible with the naked eyes. So now we need something to observe them. That is called microscope. Okay, so you can see a picture of the microscope in the slide with which we can observe the microorganisms. Now let us look into the three domains of classification of the microorganisms. So you can see that the microorganisms are classified into three domains, that is the bacteria, archaea and eukarya. Under the kingdom of bacteria, you can see it is a eubacterial kingdom. Under the domain of archaea, you can see archaebacterial kingdom, whereas in the eukarya domain, you can see there are protists, there are fungi, plantae, and animalia. So, why is this classification done? What is the difference between bacteria, archaea, and eukarya? Okay, so bacteria and archaea are very similar because they do not have a nucleus, whereas eukarya domain they have a very well defined nucleus. So, what is the difference between bacteria and archaea? Is that the cell wall of archaebacteria is very different from that of the bacterial domain, which we'll look into the coming sessions. So, for now, let us understand that microorganisms are divided into three domains called bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. With this, we come to the end of the session. But before that, I have a note. All the images used in the presentation are sourced from the internet. I would like to dedicate all the credits for the pictures to whoever it originally belonged to. Thank you. Thank you for watching.